Give me 1 minute here on this. So let's make a formal introduction for our listeners.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Nils Petter. My name is
Good afternoon.
Claudio, and I'm calling you from Washington, D.C., from the studios in Fairfax City. We're very humble and grateful that Nils Petter Molvær accepted our invitation to our show. Nils, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem. So let's start from the beginning now. You know, with the COVID and this craziness in the world, you know, some people believe in the vaccine, some people don't. You know, touring musician like yourself make a living, you know, touring, and sometimes you cannot tour much. How's this COVID affecting you, your life, your sanity, your inability to work, and all that kind of stuff?
I must say it has infected me quite a bit. I was infected by COVID and got very sick.
Wow.
And I was hospitalized and twice actually in isolation. Isolation.
Isolation. Yeah.
And yeah, it was, and I got very sick. I had got it in the lungs, and also smell and taste and fatigue. I have never ever felt in my life like this. So I'm actually struggling a little bit with late COVID effects, you know, a little bit tinnitus, sometimes insomnia, also short of breath sometimes. Sometimes also a little bit if I don't sleep so much, the focus kind of. So it kind of, so there, I would recommend everybody that has the possibility to take the vaccine.
Yeah.
Because it's no joke. And when I came to the hospital, they gave me dexamethasone. I think that's what they gave your last president also. So I don't even want to name it. So yeah, so it has, and that's the personal of me personally. But then career-wise or music-wise, it's been. Yeah, it still is very difficult, and suddenly the COVID rises at the place. Just yesterday we had to cancel a concert in September, and so it is definitely has a huge impact on the cultural life, music, theaters, ballet. Movies, everything, exhibitions. So it's yeah, it's a wake-up call. Don't nature.
Yeah, I got you. Where you originally from Norway? You live now in Germany. You prefer to live there, or you?
No. I'm just been doing some touring.
Yeah.
I played a little bit with my own band. Yeah. As a trio just now, and then I did some concerts with Minus Inelu, a percussion player, French, living in Brooklyn, and yeah, and then I've done. I'm in Berlin now because there is an organization called NUPA. They have a flat there, and you can apply. And I applied because it's very close up to the release of the album, which is on Friday. Friday 27th. So I just been doing lots and lots of interviews.
Yeah.
So with the German media, and then now you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Well, you're well known here in the United States as well. You know, I mean, people that love jazz and know who you are. You know, you know, you do well. You have played with a lot of great musicians. You know, playing. You know, at the beginning started with ECM and. You're good in what you do, man. So were you born like in a musical family when you start taking, you know, jazz or, I mean, piano or guitar lesson before you went to trumpet? Or?
Well, I'm born, and my father is a musician. He's a jazz musician. So I'm born into, and also this place I come from called Sula. It's a island on the northwest coast of Norway. It was a very what should you say, very flourishing music community there. It's a small island. It was maybe 3,000 people living there when I grew up. Now it's a bit more, but a lot of musicians. So yeah, I think I started to play when I got the first trumpet when I was like 5 years old, maybe.
Wow.
And then you try it out and you check it out, but I wasn't like really into it. And then I got much more interested in Led Zeppelin and Hendrix and Black Sabbath and these guys. So and I played guitar there, I played the drums, I played the bass, I played all kind of things in local rock bands. And then I decided I wanted to go to this, they call it music high schools.
Yeah.
And the people's high school, they call it. I don't know. It's not like what is the gymnasium? It's not like that. It's a different thing. So and the one I went to focused on music, and I met a very, very good teacher, and he got me really interested in to practice and to find ways to express myself through the trumpet. And I had also a friend, and we rehearsed a lot. We were just hanging out. We went to study with some professor in Sweden, and for a week. So we did a lot of things. And then I got into the music conservatory in Trondheim, but on classical trumpet. And so I was there for a year. This was in 1980, maybe. Also, there was this summer camp, jazz camps, summer camps. I met a lot of, Eivind was there. I met Eivind there, Tore Brunborg, the saxophone player, with of course, the older teachers. There was a band appearing there called the Jazz Punk Ensemble, which was like a big 3 drummers, 2 bass players. It was a lot of young people and some really old Norwegian legendary people. And one of the guys there, piano player, he asked me if I wanted to be part of a theater piece in Oslo. And I thought, and I was pretty bored going to this music conservatory, because that was very, very rigid. Yeah, like, so I just said, can I have a year permission? And then I go to Oslo and I do this. And so I did that, and I never went back. Yeah. So that same autumn, Masqualero, so I started to play with John Christensen, the drummer, Arild Andersen, and me and Tore Brunborg, and Jon Balke, the piano player. So, and that kind of just took off, and we started. So after 1981, I have been a professional musician since that.
Yeah, I get you. Well, that was the best decision of your life, but see, because you grew up in a musical family. Yeah, you had a different upbringing, right? Because you were encouraged by your dad to do the kind of. I suppose if your dad had been like a doctor, right, you would say, no, forget about music, go to university. The musician don't make any money, whatever.
Yeah, no, he wasn't like that, but he had another profession. He couldn't live as a musician up there. Yeah. So. But also in those days, we moved around because I come from not a rich family at all. So we had to go. So I lived in Stavanger, I lived in Molde, which is just maybe 100 kilometers north of where I was born. But then I moved back to Sula. So we moved around quite a bit. He was working as a typograph. I don't think that even exists anymore. It's like when before computers, when you print books and you print newspapers, you put together. Yeah. So, but then he I mean, Molde was quite. That was very nice. They have a very famous jazz festival, Molde Jazz Festival. I saw Miles there, for instance.
Wow.
When I was, that was in '84, maybe. But also when I was a kid, like in '72, I saw Weather Report, Tony Williams' Lifetime, Dexter Gordon, all these kind of things. So, and a band called The Trio. That is what stick to me the most, is The Trio with John Sermon and I don't remember who else it was there, but this English saxophone player. So music has always been there, you know. It's been a big part of my life.
Yeah. I have interviewed several people from that study at Trondheim. It's a very good school. Here in the United States, in Boston, we have a very famous school as well called Berkeley. It's Berkeley School of Music, and a lot of people have, you know, the equivalent of Europe. That's a school in here in the United States. A lot of great position.
I know many people who went there, Norwegian guys also.
Yeah.
So it's the most famous music school, I would say, when it comes to improvised music.
Yeah, and also, like I was mentioned before we began the interview, you know, I don't know if I got lucky or more people from Norway replied back for the interview, but there are so many great musicians in Norway, as opposed to, you know, Finland or Sweden. And I don't mean to offend anybody, but with that, but maybe I haven't got a hold of a lot of musicians in Finland, but for Norway, I have like 10 and like 20 other or 30 other, and this is a lot of, you know, in every corner in Oslo, you can find a great musician, you know, playing drum on the street or something, man. It's right? It's amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of very nice musicians, and there's also I've been asked many times, because it's not so many, how shall I say, like traditional Afro-American jazz musicians. Not so much of. It's more into kind of almost like a contemporary improvised music, and I think the reason it's different in Sweden and Denmark is because in Sweden and Denmark, really famous American jazz musicians lived, and they created a kind of a culture there.
Yeah.
But not so many lived in Norway. So I think maybe we had to find our own way in it, sort of, and also closely related to more traditional Norwegian folk music. And so there is like it's a huge palette of different kind of expressions. And I think people in the 60s and 70s, like Terje Rypdal, Jan Gabarek, Arild Andersen, and John, and some people around there, they had a big impact on how you look at music. It's very open-minded. I'm sure it is everywhere else, many places else also. The guitar player in my band, he's a Swedish guy. He's fantastic. He's like, you can listen to it on the album I sent you. So, and I know a lot of Swedish, very good. I played with many Danish also, like Marilyn Masur. And also not so many Finnish people. I work with a electronica guy called Vladislav Delay. So I'm sure they are also there, but of course for me, I see mostly what is in Norway, and not enough even, because if I'm not touring, I like to stay home also.
Right, enjoy your family and rest and do other stuff, man. So you know how you end up. I think one of the first bands you end up joining was Masqualero with with Anderson and John Everson, and you guys released 4 records. How did you end up joining the band?
But that was because Jon Balke, the piano player, he was. We did this children piece at the National Theatre called Ujana, and we were like musicians on stage, dressed up. I was dressed up like an owl, a kind of a transsexual owl with pink tights. In the days where my body could, I could do it when I was younger. So, and they were going to play a gig as a trio in Kongsberg, outside of Oslo, and then they just asked me and Tore if we could join. And we just came in, and it was very improvised. But then it was like a click, you know, I mean, to play, I must say, to play with the drummer like John Christensen was, that's the most important music school I ever went to, just to play with him.
Yeah.
So he used to play with Keith Jarrett's band. He played with everybody, and he's quite amazing guy. He just died last year from living hard. So, but and then we did an album called Masqualero, which is named after I think a Wayne Shorter composition, and we continued to play for 12 years.
And then you guys, yeah, go on, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, and at the same time I played in, I mean, when I came to Oslo that first autumn, I mean, just like after 2 months, I think I was playing in 10 different bands. It was like a very, not many trumpet player in these days in Oslo. And so I played with everybody. And also, I think I'm pretty open-minded, so I wasn't like just jazz, or I played with the rock people. I played with the more singer-songwriter people on people's albums. I was like studio session musician, do all kind of things. So yeah, and yeah, so that lasted until well into the 90s, I would say.
And then you guys did 4 albums with together, and 3 of them were with ECM. Of course, yeah. ECM was a pioneer at the time, releasing a lot of great jazz people. It was difficult to get a deal with the ECM to record under that label, or because it's such an honor to.
Yeah, no, because John and Arild, they had recorded a lot on ECM. And yeah, so we I think the first one we did on ECM was Band Apart, I think.
Yeah, Band Apart in 86. Yeah.
So no, I don't know if it was difficult or easy, but I became a really good friend with Manfred. So we used to hang a lot in Oslo when he was in Oslo, and Jan Erik Kongshaug, the sound engineer in the Rainbow Studio, and all this kind of thing. So it was, yeah, we were hanging out a lot. And I also did an album with a fantastic percussion player from America. She's American, called Robin Tchaikovsky. So we did an album called Hastening Westwards. And that was done in 3 hours.
My God, man.
Yeah, that was just like, poof, straight. So, yeah, and then I played a lot with this wonderful singer Sissel Endresen, and with Marilyn and all these things. And but then I thought I wanted to make an album of my own, so I just started very, very how should I say, in my bedroom. I had a computer, and I started to. We had a sampler. You can sample 2 seconds. You know, so just started to make songs there, and then there was a second Rainbow Studio in Oslo. The old location that was, yeah, it was kind of a big studio. Up in the second floor, there was a guy called Ulf Holand. He was doing more rock, pop kind of things. And so he was a good friend, and I was there. We just called it Over the Rainbow, the studio. Yeah, we 3-4 months at least. We were there. I just worked in between sessions, which were paid. And then I asked Manfred if he wanted to release it, and he said yes. And yeah, and then I got this commission piece for a festival in Norway called Vossa Jazz. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to use this opportunity to put together a band and yeah, do a lot of the things I really like to do, because they provided the money for me to do it. So I used the first guy I asked was actually a visual guy. Before I asked musicians,
Yeah.
So I was working with this visual guy, and so we had a lot of visuals going on. And then I started asking musicians, and we did that concert, and then we just finished the album, and it came out on ECM. And then suddenly, for me, I thought, okay, yeah, if I sell like maybe 5,000 albums, I'm really happy.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't, but then suddenly just the world just opened up, and it's, I don't know how much it sold, maybe close to 500,000 or something. So it was really, yeah, it was very important time. And so after that, I've been just, I think I maybe released 16 albums, maybe 15.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. I have the opportunity to interview, I know Jon Everson, of course. I have the opportunity to interview his daughter, Marte. She's very good as well, you know.
Who's that?
Marte.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Jon Everson, he was very important. He was the founder of the jazz punk ensemble.
Yeah.
And he was they were the best-selling band, this Jon Everson group, and with Sitzel and Andresen, the singer.
Yeah.
So I joined them on the last albums they did, and on tours and stuff with them. But Jon Everson was very, very important when it comes to see young talents and just grab them, you know, and kind of take them into his bands and stuff. So Jon was very, very important guy.
Yeah.
But he wasn't playing the Masqualero. That was John Christensen. That was the drummer. So, but yeah, I played a lot with the Everson. We had a band called Chipahua, more like a soul band with 4 singers and horn sections, and so yeah, I haven't seen Jon for a while. I think he was pretty sick. He's a very popular teacher now at the university in Oslo, the music university in Oslo.
Okay. Yeah, he is still doing his music, and I every so often I talk to Marte, and they finish an album together, the two of them, recently, last week or 2 weeks ago, or whatever.
Yeah. Marte, she played in one of the biggest, High as a Kite. It was a band called High as a Kite, and she was there.
So I interviewed them as well, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when Marte was this big.
I will remind her. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, she's a very good player. Yeah, High as a Kite. That was the first band came from the first band that I knew from Norway, and of course they're very popular all over the world. Not just they're very good. They're very good musicians there. Man, you have played with so many great people like Rita, Sitzel, Kenneth, and Chad Noir, Cyber. My God, man, we can talk for an hour, man, for days and days. So feel free to elaborate on the success of primarily the concept of Khmer. I think I read an interview that was based on a labyrinth by Jorge Luis Borges, which is from Argentina as well, right? My neighbor, and in Chile. And feel free to elaborate how the concept came together, and then part 2 of the question: your life changed completely, you know, after.
Oh, it did, yeah.
After that, you know. I think when your camera went red or something.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to get some coffee here.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
I was reading Ficciones by Borges, and I was it was so absorbing, and this fantasy, the way he was using and creating sentences, and so a lot of the titles are like Kløn is from there, and also on stream. Let me just do this. So yeah, it was you know, when you make a music which is instrumental, it's to try to find titles that is not too emotional, but it has this kind of it has many layers. It can mean many things. So after Khmer, I actually continued doing that. I tried to find small phrases from poetry.
Yeah.
Which like there is a song called Icy Altitude, and something that feels good in the mouth also. So Icy Altitude, that is just a tiny little, it's two words from a poem or a lyrics by Joni Mitchell called Emilia, which is a beautiful song.
Yeah.
So and now this new one is called Stitches, new album, and there is one called there is a Nearly Invisible Stitches, which is from, I think, Sylvia Plath. And so always try to go to the poets and the written people who have the word in their power to express things, at least for me, so I get a can imagine. It can mean many things. There's a one track called Honey in Your Head that can mean honey in your head, but it can mean a lot of things. You know. So yeah, so with Khmer also, when we talked about this, Manfred listened to it and was like, "Oh man, this is almost, it's like it's almost like it's we call it Khmer Rouge." And I said, that is, I'm not a big fan of Khmer Rouge. In Cambodia, they killed like 40 million people. But we can call it Khmer, which is like that is people. That is human, and the Cambodian people, the Khmer people. So we call it Khmer, and but then he got it on the inner sleeve. It's written with red letters, so he got the last word, Manfred. You know.
Yeah, I got you. You knew? I mean, at the time you were recording that. Now looking back, that's a legendary album. But at the time, I don't know if you knew that you how great that album would have been or could have been in the history of jazz music. I mean, that album is legendary. I mean, you knew that when you were doing something different, but it was difficult to anticipate, right? How many records you will sell and how popular it would become.
I didn't have any clue. And as I told you earlier, I thought if I sell 5,000, I was really happy. So no, it never. The thing when I thought, okay, I will try to sort of find references to all the things I like, a lot of the music I like, and try to kind of mash that into something organic and not forced or anything, but to try to create a sort of what should you say, like a meal of different things which I like. So that was the main thought and feeling I had when I did it. And no, I mean, you can never see these things coming. And So everything happened at once, and I got my first child, and so just 14 days after that child was born, I had to go on a big tour.
Wow.
So it was, yeah, it was like really the mid-90s was everything just changed for me totally, with the career-wise and also in the personal life. So, but you can never foresee these things. It's just coming like towards you, and you just have to dive into it, you know.
Got you. Yeah, I have listened to that album, I don't know, probably like 20 times, and every time that I listen in the car or here at home, it has that album. It brings me many references to many things. It's very inclusive, if you will. You know, if I listen Khmer today, I let it go. I listen to other stuff because I'm always buying music. And in 3 days from now, I listen to Khmer again with my headphone. I see other influences. I mean, it's very inclusive. Like, I don't know if you can say that, but that's an unbelievable album, man.
Oh, thank you. Well, I play a lot of. I play the bass. I play some guitar stuff there. I play percussion, and of course samples and all kind of things. So it was like to put it together, and in the end, I just invited some of the musicians in to just play it, and so it was like a long process to really. That before it came to a kind of a conclusion, you might say. So, but I'm glad you like it. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Well, you're kind of people over the world know you by that album, but the album, Streamer, also, it's very good.
Streamer, yeah. That's a live.
Yeah, that's a very good album actually. So, you know.
Thank you. I know personally also like that album.
Yeah.
I have, it's something, you know, when you, how should I say, when you make an album, you listen to it like 2,000 times during the process. So when it's finished, I very rarely listen to my own albums. But with Streamer, that was because that was recorded in a famous club in London. It was like, I don't remember everywhere where it was recorded. And there is even a 7.2 or 5.2 mix. It's like there is a surround mix, but I never released it. So, that album has some of the feelings that it was when we played the Khmer times, you know, when we went on tour, and it was. So I personally, that's one of my favorite albums that I did. If you can say that there is a favorite album, yeah, you know, it's. I know everything that's happening on the album, so I listen to it and I know everything, and so it's the creative process is more like to try to be as precise as I can in the expression. So I could never listen to it from a neutral point of view, because I know everything there. So I leave that to others to listen, like you.
Yeah. The other album is very good with, I don't know if I can pronounce it correctly, Nordav with a Sly Roy is also fantastic, man.
Yeah, that was cool. That was also a story. I was playing solo, I think. Yeah, I was playing solo concert in Jakarta, in Indonesia, in a festival. And after the show, they come over to me and say, he's Dutch, and he say, "Hey man, very nice show, and would you like to participate with Sly and Robbie?" And I said, "Yes." I mean, I used to listen to a lot of the stuff, and I also, because I've been working a lot with Bill Laswell, who produced the albums from there, and he has this kind of dubby bass way of playing. So I said yes, and And then I didn't hear anything for a while, and I thought, okay. I mean, sometimes people come and say this, and then nothing happens. But suddenly it was like, yeah, we're ready now, and come down to this castle in France, and we rehearsed there for a week, and then we started tour. So we did this, and it was so nice to meet those guys, and also the assistant of Stein Robbie called Garfield, beautiful man. And so they came with all the stuff, and Joanne, who was traveling with Robbie, and we just rehearsed, and then we went on tour, and we came to Norway, and we had 4 days off. And I have a friend who has a studio, and he's a huge Sly Robbie fan. And I said, is the studio free? Yeah. He said, okay, let's go up there and do it. And it's like with the really old preamps and analog stuff, and of course also digital. So, and then I asked Jon Balke to produce it, who is he's a professor at the music, electronic music department in the university in Kristiansand, which is in the south. And by the way, if you're able to travel, if you want to come to a very, very cool festival, there is a festival in Kristiansand every September called Punkt.
Yeah. I even mentioned that it's it's in a couple of weeks, but this year I cannot make it. But it is very, very famous actually. Ivan is playing with I don't know. Remember I interviewed another guy, Samuel. I think of Rother.
Samuel Rother.
Yeah. He
lives in Berlin.
He lives in Berlin. Yeah, he's a very good musician too, man.
Oh yeah. Beautiful guy. I went out the day I came to Berlin. We went out to Italian restaurant and just hooked up, you know.
Yeah. This year I cannot make it, but definitely I will try to make it next year. I've been busy with work, and I'm going to London a couple of times next year in February and May, and then I want to take another week off and visit Norway. I need to go to Germany. All these people, electronic music people that have interviewed from Tangerine Dream and similar bands. You know, they ask me, you know, when are you coming? So I need to make a trip, go to Munich, then go up to Berlin, and then go to Frankfurt and visit like.
Well, you should visit Hamburg. Fantastic city, Hamburg.
Hamburg. Yeah.
Oh. I think we're going to tour in April in Germany. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let me know. I would like to take you out to dinner, man.
Absolutely. Oh, I take you out.
Yeah, my family actually. My ancestor came from Munich.
They did.
Oh yeah. So what happened is way before the Nazis started escaping to Latin America in 1945. In 1882, were two big migration. About 10,000 families from Germany moved to the south of Chile, and then many families from Italy went to Argentina.
Yes.
So my mother's last name is Hoferberg, my great grandparents. So I have gone to Munich several times to visit the grave and contact people, and it's amazing, man. Yeah. But I don't speak the language. And how many languages do you speak, by the way?
Me? I speak English and Norwegian, and I can order food in French, Spanish. I can get the nutrition. I can get I can ask for food and drink, but I cannot in German. I can have a conversation, but not very
effective.
Particular. I mean, I can just talk about how do I get here, and where is the S-Bahn station and these things. But And then I can say hello and thank you and cheers in Japanese. And also Chinese, actually.
Have you played in Japan? Have you ever played?
Yeah.
You like it?
Oh, I love Japan. I played many times. There's a festival called Born Creative in Ikebukuro, in the Metropolitan Theater in Ikebukuro. So I've been there 2-3. We are supposed to go there now also, but they cannot let. After the Olympics, I think they just closed for foreigners.
Yeah,
it's also difficult with this COVID because I was supposed to do this thing with this beautiful singer called Mariam Saleh from Egypt, but suddenly you can't get them in, and they have to be like 14 days in quarantine, and it's like impossible. So yeah, let's see what happens now in the autumn, because it's everything is so uncertain. But anyway, yeah, Germany is it's nice. I really like Germany, but then again, I like Italy. I was just in Prague. It's the most beautiful city. It's like incredibly beautiful, and horrible government, but very beautiful city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Poland. I like Romania. Been there quite a bit, and of course Italy and Greece and Istanbul. Fantastic city. So I've been so lucky. I've been able to travel around, and in Japan, I would say like Tokyo, very cool. Like Kyoto. When it's in April in Kyoto, it's absolutely with the sakura, the blossom of the cherry trees, and it's
unbelievable.
It's so incredible. South America, I haven't been so much. I was in Sao Paulo with Robbie in Brazil, but I've never been to Central America. I've never been to Argentina, or we've been invited there quite a few times, but it's so far. And if you go there, you have to do a tour, you know what I mean?
You need to make it work. Yeah, to make it work. Yeah. There's a lot of great musicians in Chile and Argentina, so you will do very well. But we need to wait until the COVID starts. Feel free to elaborate on your new album, when it's coming up, what type of music it is, and so forth.
Yeah, it's just music. I don't know what to call it. The minute I have this feeling, the minute also you start to define yourself, it's like you put yourself in a little box. It's like, oh, he's a jazz musician, he's a rock musician, he's this and that, and so I'll leave that up to listeners, and I think it's in your computer now, so you can listen to it.
Listen to it, yeah. Looking back at your career, there gotta be, you have played with so many people in so many countries, so many venues. There is one or two concerts that you look back in your life and say, man, that everything works out beautiful. The light, the people, the atmosphere, the musician, like that you say, man, that it was unbelievable. So one or two in particular that you go back and you say, man, I could die tonight.
Let me think. Well, I must say one of the most memorable concerts it was when I was invited by Herbie Hancock to Tokyo Stadium on his festival and we kind of shared stage with Hancock's band and my band, and there was a lot of musicians there. And on the last song, we played one of the songs from Khmer called Kløn, which is more like a house beat. And that went on for, I don't know how long. I mean, 40 minutes, just going. And we started to play, and then suddenly Herbie's band came and they joined in on the beat. And I was just in front playing, and then suddenly I felt there is someone behind me. And I turned around, and it just very close to me was Wayne Shorter. And I was like, wow. And then behind him was Michael Brecker, waiting to come and play. And suddenly Buena Vista Social Club came on stage, and they started to with the percussion and the piano player, and it was that was quite memorable, I must say. And also because all this, I would say, like Wayne Shorter and Herbie, of course, it's like they're like, for me, legends. You know, it's like incredible musicians, and just I've been listening to them all my life. I mean, since I was 5. so that was quite memorable. And yeah, I mean, yeah, another one. That was one. Another one. There is lots with Khmer where it was like really incredible. Like in Hamburg, we played in a tent, and at the Roskilde Festival in Denmark but there was one concert I played up in Dharamsala in India, a duo concert with Zakir Hussain for Dalai Lama. And it was the teaching of Dalai Lama, and there must have been 5,000 monks, and everybody in their robes, you know. It started early in the morning, and I was standing on the temple there, and you know, we played with this huge horn, this Tibetan horns, you know.
Yeah.
We were just standing in the morning and playing out into the valley, down into the valleys, you know, because Dharamsala is like on 2,000 meters or something into the Himalayas. And I did that in the morning, and then I played the national Tibetan anthem. I learned that, and then I played this, just like like a pentatone thing, and all the 3,000 monks just up, you know, and had the hand at their heart. Wow. And also then playing with the Zakir there, you know, where he's such an incredible musician. And I just did my thing. I mean, I don't know anything about Indian music in that way, but he kind of is so great. He just, I think he made me sound good, you know. So that was also a concert which I will remember for a long time. But then, of course, I played so many strange places, in caves and in frozen waterfalls, and early morning concerts, like 4:30 in the morning inside this Stonehenge kind of with the old stones in the south of Sweden, and it's like 4:30 in the morning. There's like 500 people. So yeah, and many Istanbul. You know, like in this outdoor place. So there is a lot of lots and lots of things. But if I should mention two, because it was so special, that would be Tokyo Stadium and Dharamsala.
Okay. Yeah, but and there gotta be some of them that you say, man, you want to go to bed, nothing works. The equipment arrived late, the people didn't show up, you know.
Yeah, but I'm very good at forgetting those things.
Yeah. What kind of do you miss touring and playing live, or you're happy, you know, just during the COVID stay on the studio?
Oh, I miss to play live a lot.
Yeah.
So. But in these days, it's really tiring to travel.
Yeah.
Because so many, you have to fill out forms, and you have to have the mask on all the time, and you get really and because all the airlines, so you have to. I mean, just to go from Sardinia here to Germany, it was like 14 hours. So that's really, really tiring. But to play, that is the what is the word? that is the gold medal when if you come there and you those 90 minutes when you play, that is more like a booster of energy and
sure.
Almost like a meditation.
Yeah,
being totally in the moment and just interact and try to create something wonderful with other people. It's so I miss that, but I don't miss the traveling, I must say.
Yeah.
So I hope it comes back to normal, but some people say this will never go away. It's like the flu, but it's worse. But it will be there, and it will. There will come a delta variation. There comes different other variations, and so yeah, you just have to learn how to live with it. So
exactly, learn how to live in that. And you have played with so many great musicians. Looking back in your career, is anyone in particular you wish dead or alive, you wish the opportunity to play or share stadium or share a stage with?
Oh, I wish I could play with Jon again, but he's dead. I remember we did a concert with in Kongsberg with the 2 Danish musicians and Gary Peacock, bass player.
Yeah.
And me and Peacock did an improvisation, and that was also incredible. That is also memorable for me. Suddenly it was like he just took me under his wings, you know, like this big babe, and we kind of moved around and then I played the theme in the end by Horus Palan called Peace. And after the show, he came and he said, peace, man, and he gave me a huge, big hug. And we went down to the river there and brought a bottle of wine and just sat there and talked for hours. So he was a very nice guy, I think. At least my experience with him. Yeah, who else? What was it? I mean, to play with Laswell again. Hamid Drake, I love. Jack DeJohnette.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, let me think. No, brain fog. There, I'm really blessed. I've been I played with so many wonderful musicians and made so many friends, and I've been able to travel the world and play for people. And so I just look at that more like this one big picture that I've been lucky.
You know, should be do like a collage and put a picture of everybody you have played and, you know, put it in the living room.
Oh no, I won't do that.
What kind of music you listen to now when you are at home or driving? Know your music, of course. You don't. People they don't want to listen to their own music, but you still keep on buying record, buying not buying CDs, listen in the car. What kind of stuff you like when you're not?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even have a CD player anymore. I have a
really?
vinyl. No, I have a vinyl player up in my, but I have tons of CDs. Now, what I don't know, it's there was one period a couple of years ago when, or some years ago when this Radiohead album, A Moon-Shaped Pool, came out.
Yeah,
I listened to that a lot. And then there is an electronic guy called John Hopkins, English guy. I listened to him. I used to listen to him a lot. But I listened to all kinds of things. I listened to Neil Young. I listened to Keith Jarrett. I listened to Miles. The Lost Septet. When that album came, I really liked. And then sometimes people send me CDs and I listen to them, and so I'm like I listen to all kind of things. Griot music from Mauritania, fantastic singers. Some Bulgarian folk music, incredible. Sometimes, you listen to things that you really, really liked when you were a kid. And some, like, you listen, one of the most incredible albums ever is Kind of Blue. It's just
Kind of Blue, yeah.
Stunning. So, yeah, these things I can listen to sometimes. But I don't listen so much to music. It's more like when I sit and work and I go to the studio and I try to make music. So I don't listen to so much. But sometimes Brian Eno stuff, the ambient things, the sound worlds there, and some of these Japanese guys. So, yeah. And then sometimes the bass player in my band, who's a very, very beautiful composer and musician and a person, he said, "Hi, have you listened to this?" And I said, no. And then I listened, wow, that's cool. So yeah, it's more like that.
When I go to Norway or when I see you in Germany, I will bring you two things: several CDs, music that you don't know. I will bring you some Chilean wine.
Oh, I'd love that.
I'm a beer type of guy, but I will take you out to dinner to a nice restaurant. You drink the wine, I drink beer.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so many.
Germany, and Czechia, fantastic there. You should go. It's a neighboring. It's not far. If you are in Europe, you should go to Prague. I mean, that is like a place you need to see.
Yeah, Prague is beautiful. I've been there a couple times. It's unbelievable. It's another. That and Turkey, they're another world. Last week. I was in Iceland for vacation. Oh, Iceland is unbelievable. It is.
It's like you're walking on the crust of the planet.
Yeah, I felt like living in Mars, like another world, another galaxy. It's so different. Beautiful. They were doing to go there. I've been very blessed in my life because I'm an engineer. I'm a computer engineer. Music is fun for me. Talking to great music yourself and having a fourth floor full of music that you see behind.
I see in the back there.
And talking to people, and music has given me a lot of satisfaction. From Sylvian to Pink Floyd, Pat Benatar, Blondie, Jazz Tap, Ivy. Your music is. I'm very blessed talking about music and listening to stuff or discover a new band, going to Spotify and discover a new band and reaching out to manager, and it has been beautiful. I got lucky because at the beginning when I started the radios about 7 months ago, I have the concept. I knew what I wanted to do, and people were not replying to my email, and I sent a very candid email to Steve Hackett he used to be with Genesis, obviously. I say, Steve, I want to put a radio together. This is my concept. It's going to be great. I'm going to broadcasting at very good quality. I'm paying rights, so musicians get paid all over the world. And he gave me the first interview, and then easier there. So Steve Hackett is the one who gave me the break. And And the rest is.
It's beautiful, I must say. I think what you do is very nice. It's very beautiful.
For me, as I say, I'm paying for all the server, and all the music that I have are original recorded. I don't use any bootleg, and they're always going to be free. And I want to interview, hundreds of people all over the world. So one day, when I'm dying, some people will say, "Man, who was this Khmer guy?" Molvær, difficult to pronounce the name, or Pandesini, or Brian Eno. Look at the interview here. I'm doing shows about these people, and it's great. It gave me a lot of satisfaction doing this stuff. And meeting.
There is a guy you should interview, a Norwegian guy called Stian Karstensen.
No, I don't know him yet. I will send you an email shortly when I upload the recording. Feel free to send me a link a list of people that I think I should have interviewed with, because I'm always looking for new people. And I'm trying to get a hold of, as I say, Manfred for ECM, as well as Brian Eno, if you know contact.
Yeah.
If you know
it's
people.
Probably also difficult to get hold of Brian. But there's a lot of Christian Fenesch, guitar player from Austria, also very cool. David Sylvian.
Of course, I know him. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, have you played with him? Have you ever?
Well, I did a remix for him, and so he wanted to go on tour, and he wanted to me to be playing the band, but I couldn't do it because it was Khmer time. I was on totally in the Khmer. So we met a couple of times, and he's a nice guy. He's also very open-minded, and other people. Django Bates, very, very nice guy.
David Sylvian is very private, quiet guy. It's hard to get a hold of. I'm going interviewing during the weekend his brother, Steen Jensen.
Yes, Steen Jensen, yeah.
I'm interviewing him in the next 4 days, and I want to see if he can put me in touch with David, because David is very, very quiet, very private guy. I don't know if Steve and David, they don't get along that well. So of course I would love to interview, David and Sylvian and Ryuichi Sakamoto and so many other.
Sakamoto is very sick.
Yeah, he's living in New York. He's going to a little bit of cancer. So it's going to be hard.
But the other is a very nice trumpet player called Arve Henriksen, Norwegian.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
And there is Stian. Yeah, he's a multi-instrumentalist. He has a enormous amount of stories, and he is
really.
He's someone I would speak to. He's very funny, and he is hyper, but incredible musician. He's like, you don't believe your ears when you hear him play. So he's there's a lot of the younger people. But listen, because I have to. There is. Oh yeah. I have many interviews I have to do.
Yeah, gotcha.
So, but listen to the album and tell me what you think about it.
I will tell you.
And just send back, and then I have this, and I can make a list of people, and if there is any contacts.
Yeah, that would be great, man. I appreciate
it. And then I see you in Germany.
Of course, yeah. Thank you very much, Neil, for your time, and I will take you out to dinner. We'll coordinate, and we'll go drinking. You drink wine, I drink beer.
I drink beer also.
We're at 3 o'clock in the morning in Germany. We start calling people. All over the I think. All right, take it easy. Thank you very much for your time, Nils, and keep up the work more. You're a very good guy, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. You too.
No problem. Take it easy.
Take care. Yeah.